You wouldn't believe what Disney Imagineers are imagining for the future of Frontierland at Walt Disney World. Go ahead and follow the link below and you can watch the video. But right now, tell me what you think they're going to be doing. Anyhow, welcome this morning to Detroit Disney. It's a new name for our channel. We've dropped the duo. We are now one unified channel, simpler name, and it's working out better. People are even seeing the difference. Anyhow, so it's a great, beautiful day, and here in Detroit, and the sun is to our back. It's a great morning, and so there's a lot of things going on at Walt Disney World. It's always going on. There's always news. I get the news alerts from Google delivered right to my inbox every morning. I read them. I scour the internet. I follow a lot of Twitter. And yeah, I keep up with everything right here in Detroit. And yeah. And so anyhow, it's a great day. As I said, it's going to be pretty nice today. Blue skies so far. I don't want to jinx us here early in the morning, but it's blue skies. So what are we talking about today? So we're talking about the news that I watched on the YouTube channel Mickey Views. Mickey Views is kind of a news channel for Disney, and I did watch some interesting news about what's going to be going on at Frontierland, supposedly, maybe his opinion of what he's put together. You'll have to go watch the video. I'll put a link to it to Mickey Views, and it's going to be very, very interesting about what happens if indeed it does happen. And I think that there could be some changes. It kind of makes sense, and we'll explain right here, and I'll talk about it a little bit further because I thought it was a very, very interesting subject, just to say the least. And I touched a little bit on it yesterday, my last video, but go ahead and listen on in, shall you? So before we get started though, go ahead and mash that subscribe button. It's a great time to hit the subscribe button. That way you become part of the Detroit Disney nation there, and go ahead and mash the subscribe button. Hit the notification bell while you're at it. That way that you get free notifications. Everything's free. Subscribing is free. Getting the notifications is free. Everything is free for you, and it's great. And in the future, we're going to be having some giveaways. That's right, giveaways. So that's even another incentive for you to hit the subscribe button. Anyways, so so let's get back to the meat and the potatoes, as I call them. So Frontierland in Walt Disney World, it's one of those places, Frontierland. And the thing is Disney Imagineers thinking about doing a complete overhaul, a redo, a refurbishing, or what's going to go on? What are the people thinking? So this is kind of different than the whole concept of what I listened to on the Diz, where they were talking about Disney's, kind of securing it so they could have a fifth land, which I believe might be The Simpsons and Marvel and maybe something else. Who knows? But I think this is going to be a redo, possibly, for Frontierland, where basically they retheme it to, a New Orleans kind of French Quarter. We already have the Port Orleans resort in Walt Disney World. They could take that kind of theming and apply it to where Frontierland is to be, because that Tina's Bayou is basically right next there, and it needs to be connected somehow, or is it just going to be in the middle of like nowhere's land? On top of that, Pecos Bill is already getting a retheme to a restaurant for Tina's Bayou, and why not? Why not just make it all look better? Frontierland is, you have the shooting range. Who needs a shooting range? In these days, we're trying to combat gun violence. Not getting political here, but it is a thing. I mean, The shooting range, I mean, it's cool for some people. It's kind of reminiscing of their old past, but I think they could be doing some better things in Frontierland. And Tom Sawyer's Island is catching a lot of flack because it's culturally insensitive. And yes, they've been trying to have a plan for a redo for a long period of time at Tom Sawyer's Island. Tom Sawyer is part of a Mark Twain series, and anyhow, I'm not going to dive deep into that right now. But so there's a lot of things they've been wanting to correct in Frontierland, and I think we're getting close to that time where it's if you're talking about redoing things gradually over time, I think this is probably the place to start. On top of that, then Mickey Views goes into saying that there you got Big Thunder Mountain Canyon, which basically looks like a desert. What would go good with that? Right behind that area, you could basically build out a desert area where you put cocoa and what was the other one? Cocoa and Encanto. Now, I don't want to. Let's not call it desert theme. That seems rather. Rather like people that are Hispanic or living in the middle of the desert all of the time. That's completely not true, and let's make that's very insensitive. Let's really think about this, and maybe you should have more of a architectural kind of area that is more Hispanic architecturally, Spanish looking, that kind of thing. Kind of like they do over there in the Mexico pavilion over there in Epcot, and bring that kind of architectural stuff over to Big Thunder Mountain Canyon. I think that would be great. And then you could reintroduce a brand new Pecos Bills, or maybe not Pecos Bills, but something like a flavorful. Maybe not Pecos Bill, because I think it's insensitive too, and I don't know the whole story about it. But anyways, so what they could do is they could have a really nice Spanish or Mexican food, restaurant that would be in that area. Then here's the other thing. Now they're talking about also bringing the villains on the other side of Haunted Mansion and kind of a wrap it around. Well, I think that would be kind of a cool thing, because when you think of villains and when you think of they're very kind of scary, and that would kind of tie in with the Haunted Mansion, because the Haunted Mansion is scary. You know what I'm saying? It's very scary, and that's where you would find the villains at. I mean, truly, honestly, I mean, your villains would be coming from. You could have the villains area right there, and I think that would be really kind of a cool thing to have. So these are ideas that have derived from, Mickey Views has said that has derived from some of the drawings that were announced last year at D23, and also some ramblings on about from some Imagineers possibly, and some of the actions that Disney is already taking effect in doing some changes to be more sensitive to different people's cultures. And I think that's great. I mean, first of all, why is it when you go through and here's a change I would like to see, why is it that when you go through the It's a Small World, why isn't the Jewish scene, nobody ever sees it because it's right around the corner, and you basically just don't see it, but it's stuck right there on the corner where people just pass it by and it's not even noticeable. Hey, Disney, move the Jewish wedding scene of It's a Small World for somewhere where you can actually see it. That's right. Instead of passing it by all the time, maybe it could be moved. That would be really, really awesome and really sensitive to the Jewish culture. Anyhow, off my soapbox right there for a minute. Anyhow, I'm digressing. one might say. So I can't wait to see what happens in the future. I know that there's a few things that I cannot wait to see what happens. Like, for instance, the finishing of the new DVC Resort tower. I think that's what they're calling it over there at the over there at the resort that they're expanding on, and the new DVC tower. That's going to be really, really nice. I cannot wait to see it. And that's at the Polynesian, and basically that's going to be. I hope that doesn't cut down on the view, but I think it's going to actually have a better view than the bungalow or the whatever the bungalow I call the bungalows that are out in the beach portion of the Polynesian, out by the lake. And I think that the tower is going to be a hit, actually, for some people. And it'll give more DVC people more of a, I think it's going to look really nice. I think it may look, and this is just my vision, and I don't know, maybe they've already have a photo of what the envision is going to be, but I have not seen it. So I'm telling you what I think it might be without even looking, is that I think it should look something more like Alani, where they have a structure like that, and that would be really cool. But I think they should try to keep it really with the rest of the theming of the Polynesian, and that would be really, really, really awesome. Anyhow, tell me what you think about all these possible changes. What would you like to see change? They also said the Mickey Views was talking about them keeping the country bears. A lot of people love the country bears, and that's good for those people who love the country bears. I do like the bears. The bears are cool. Everybody likes bears. You get to hug them, squeeze them. They're bears. Anyhow, that's all I have for today. So you guys have a great day and a great morning. For now, over and out.